Welcome to Publishing Power. This is Joellen, your host today. And today I have with us Tonya Hofmann of the Public Speakers Association. Hi, Tonya.
Hey, everybody.
Nice to meet you. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Tonya. She is the CEO and founder of the Public Speakers Association and Wowdable, which you really need to check out. She's globally sought after speaker and on the cover of 5 magazines, so I would say she's got a little bit of knowledge about marketing and PR there. She's a best-selling author of 8 international books, which is why she's here with us today, and the winner of multiple national and international industry and association awards. She's also the host of Tonya Hofmann's Wow TV show. Thank you for joining us today, Tonya.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Oh, I know. It's really cool that we crossed paths, and I wanted to bring you on here because I think that public speaking is something that authors kind of overlook now and then, and it is a skill just the same as writing. So I wanted to bring you in and just have you speak to a little bit about speaking and what your Public Speakers Association does, and then I'll have loads of questions for you. Could you tell us about the association?
Created it in 2013. It's international, and it's all really designed to help people find actual speaking opportunities, usually the larger ones, associations, corporate industry conferences, TEDx talks, things like that. And then a lot of it is about marketing, because if nobody knows you're a speaker, how are they going to book you as a speaker? So a lot of what we do is just by purely giving you an opportunity to build your database and get exposure.
Exactly. And you have a lot of authors in your group. Why would an author join your group? I mean, can you tell us a little bit about that? What's the attraction?
Yeah, speaking is the best marketing form for anybody's business. If it's an author or a coach, a small business owner, whoever, when you stand in front of a group and they're like, wow, this is the expert, they really believe it because you now are the leader in the group, because you're standing in front of everybody. And so when I found that, even for myself, I had to get over my fears and shakes and, of speaking. But I knew I had to get through it because it was impactful, not only for changing people's lives that are in front of you and giving them really good information, but also impactful just, for my business as well.
Of course, of course. And public speaking, I mean, that is a skill. It really helps an author, I would say. What would you say would be the key walk-away benefits from becoming a better speaker for an author?
Well, it gets your message out there. So whatever your book is about, immediately you can give the kind of highlights and then kind of some insight of why people should even buy the book. And so because you're not just talking to one person at a time, you're talking from one to many, you have the ability to, create a lot of impact on sales. And a lot of times, even as a speaker, you can even negotiate, the whole audience gets your book, or you have a book signing at the event. There's all kinds of ways that you could play the opportunity.
Right. And I know people are worried because it means writing a speech or doing a special publication and things like that. But when you're an author, I think it's interesting that you need to really know how to slide in your book gently without pushing yourself. And I think that's a skill. We've kind of had some media training here, and I think media training and public speaking are definitely linking together there. So obviously you have nonfiction authors. They're speaking on their topic normally. They're the ones about their booking it. What about fiction authors? Is there a fit there?
It's a little bit more of a challenge, but I've totally seen it happen, because a lot of times, again, it's only exposure. So the more you go out there and you be on a podcast, you're on someone's show, you're on a virtual summit, you're on, in front of an actual audience live and in person, all of those opportunities is just another way for you to say, I've got this book, wouldn't you be interested in that opportunity? So you've got to look at it as an exposure factor for something you want people to know about.
Right, right. And it's a big thing. So what do you think are the most important skills for these authors if they're going to start learning this?
For most people's presentations, a lot of times people think it's about the whatever they're wanting to sell or whatever they're wanting to teach. 90% of it is their personality on stage. Are they resonating with the audience? Are they talking their language? I've been in events that I did not talk the people's language. I'm like, they don't know what I'm talking about. These people are way too analytical for me. you know, and vice versa. So a lot of it is just purely being in the moment, connecting to the people, whatever their language is, if it's analytical, if it's, you know, heart-based, whatever it is, get the stories down, because stories sell, right? Facts tell. We all have heard it. It is so true. You have to give people more than my book is about blank, 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 blank. They don't care. You got to give them a reason of what is it going to do for them, even if it's just an escape because it's, you know, fiction, nonfiction. What is it going to do for them?
Right. Where does it take them? Where are you going to lead them? And I think we always go back to the basics, you know, James Campbell and the story and having a guide there. So, I mean, we really are introducing ourselves also as a public speaker. How does that benefit an author? Because I can see them, you know, we now have social media, we now have author pages, all these different things. So public speaking is a skill that transcends that, no?
What we all want to do, and I've done it, I see it happen over and over again, is people think they have to be someone else for people to think they're amazing. So, and authors are incredibly, and speakers, really, everyone now that start thinking about it, everyone's that way. They all think everyone wants someone else and not them. That's why a lot of authors use a different name. You know,
Right.
they have this, you know, persona that they're trying to be, and speakers are the same way. When realistically, everybody wants you. The people who resonate with you will resonate with your book. The people who resonate with you will resonate with what you do. People want you, and it's the hardest thing to let go, is that you are good enough and that people will seek you out. And it's such a hard thing to teach people.
We need these skills for public speaking. So where can we start learning these skills? You know, where could a person start? If they're, you know, we've got introverts here. A lot of introverts who are sitting behind that screen. No! So help us out here.
Yeah, I love it, because I know it's hard to believe, but I'm a complete introvert. And it took me so long to get out of my shell and to speak. I mean, the first time was in front of 5 lovely ladies who all loved me. And I was sitting there shaking and sweating, and I can't remember what I'm about to say. Yeah, it was horrible. Now I'm running around the world speaking in front of thousands. You have to do it. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And it's never as bad as you think it is. We all think, oh my gosh, I forgot to say this, I forgot to do that, I was going to do this, I was going to sell that. The audience never knows any of that. They just see the person in front of you, and they are resonating with your personality or not. There's some people you can't ever change, and you don't want to change them because you want them to go away. You want to attract the right people to you, and that's how you build a really solid community, a really solid database around you, is by really focusing on who do you resonate with and who is gravitating to you.
Exactly. And it's find your people and connect with them. So it is scary though. I mean, but I think an interesting thing is public speaking is right here, right now, between you and I. And we're speaking to thousands of people. However, we are just looking at a little dot here and talking to one another and saying, and we can share ourselves that way. So I think it's a good place to start there also, is to, you know, practice with that video. It's a safe spot maybe.
My husband just started doing Facebook Lives, and he's very analytical. And it took him 6 months to do the first one. It only took him 2 hours to do the second one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, once you do it, you realize, okay, that was not as bad as you thought it was. Because usually when you do it and you get all of those fears out of your way and it's done, you're like, okay, it wasn't great, because you always are the worst critic of yourself. But it wasn't, I didn't die, you know, I didn't flop on the ground and convulse, you know. You know, once you get through that, you're like, okay, I can do that again. And each time you do it, I mean, that's how I finally got over all my shaking. I remember the day I walked in and I was like, I'm not shaking. Oh my gosh. It was like a breakthrough day of all days. You know, we all go through our steps in life. A lot of times we just see someone today and not their journey. We all have a journey to go through.
Right, and the journey is part of that story you're talking about, because I think honestly, everyone says, "Oh, you're a success. You're speaking to thousands of people, or you've written this many books, and they're all bestsellers," but they don't see the rejection letters and all the late hours and the long amount of work and the money and the time and all the investments you made or the sacrifices to get there. So it is always a journey. We talk a lot about journeys here. Editing is a journey, publishing is a journey, marketing is a journey, speaking is a journey. So it's really good. And of course that's built over steps. So tell me, if we were going to look for some information more, I mean, obviously we're going to go to the Public Speakers Association. What about recommended sites or books or videos that they can also watch to kind of get in the right mindset there and get started?
Well, I know on Public Speakers Association, there is a ton of free things to watch and review and listen to and get insights to. And so we've got our virtual summit, all the past ones are on there. You know, when you start looking into where should I go to learn some of the skills and the things, the best teacher is by doing. And you learn so much by doing that you can read all you want. You can absorb as much information on YouTube or wherever as you want. But until you actually sit down and do your first Facebook Live, until you sit down or stand in front of a room and do your first presentation, there's nothing like the experience by the actual doing. So I always encourage even my clients is, you know, when you start looking at opportunities, you're the worst enemy of yourself because you always say, no, I'm not ready. And until you stop saying, no, I'm not ready, you won't ever be ready.
Right, right. Sad, but true, huh? It's amazing. And I mean, you are also an author, so you've been down this path. And I think that's what we really want to talk about is, you know, we want to hear it from somebody who's walked the path before us, who can take our hand and guide us down there and say, okay, this is how it works. This is where you start. This is what you do. And, you know, how much do I have to do at the beginning? It's, you know, every journey is a little different. So I think that's really great. Tell us about what's going on with the Public Speakers Association right now in Wildable.
We are so excited because I've been putting on conferences for so long, since 2006. And this last year I did in London, and we had the Public Speaker Association conference, and it was amazing. But oh my gosh, it was so much work. So I decided to bring it all home to Austin and put on the Wildable conference, which goes along with a phone app that's about to launch. I'm super excited about it. And it's all about collaboration, connections, really kind of diving into how can we all benefit from the knowledge and the connection factor from people. And so when I came to Austin, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my hometown. I know like a gazillion people. So I started connecting all the associations and organizations that I know together so we can network and collaborate and for everyone to be able to connect with each other. And so I love the whole collaboration, you know, idea to show the world that we aren't just competitors, but this is something way bigger than us. So,
it is. It's really big. And I think that's interesting that you bring that up because I've heard people worry about, oh, well, I don't want to compete with my favorite author. You're not competing. You're in the same genre. You're sharing the same journey. Your people are the same people. And they want to hear from not just one of you, they want to hear from both of you. They want to share. And it's very good when you can make those connections as speakers, as authors, as writers, as, you know, bloggers, whatever you're doing out there, because it really allows you to cross over. And just a personal thing here, I normally don't throw this in, but I can say in the last 2 years, I've started to stop saying, okay, well, oh, that they're actually, that's a competitor. Maybe I shouldn't bring them on the show, or maybe I shouldn't write about them. And I've started saying instead, you know, well, what have you got going on? Tell me more. Let me hear more about you. How can I help you? And I've taken a back step. And the most phenomenal, amazing changes and connections have happened, and opportunities that just never would have gone there because instantly they were competitors. But now guess what? We're partners. We're collaborating. We're doing everything you're talking about, and it's really exciting. So I think it's very good for authors to transcend over that into the speaking and into, you know, all these other opportunities out there. So Wildable is happening when? Tell us a little bit about that too.
So it's waiting on the Apple and Android to say yes, and then once we get the thumbs up, we'll go live. It's going to be videos to teach people all kinds of really cool things. We're going to have a store for people to sell their books in. So that's going to be really cool to kind of cross promote and market each other's databases to each other. So again, like you just said, you know, who reads just one book? Hello. Of course you want to connect with the other people who already love those kind of books. Don't you think they'd want to read yours too? So it's all about that cross promotion.
I want to encourage everyone to take a look over there at the Public Speakers Association, do a little Google of Wowdable, and you have the upcoming conference. And when is the date on that? Do we have a date for that?
Yeah, June 26th to the 28th in Austin, Texas. And we're looking for speakers, and we've got vendor tables that you can put your books out at. So yeah, all kinds of.
Awesome. All right. Well, that sounds great. So everyone, please check this out. Tonya, thank you so much for coming today and just giving us a little insight into another skill, another little tool we can put in our kit here so that we can survive, go out there, speak with confidence, and also promote ourselves in a very delicate and promotional way that also collaborates, as you said. So thank you so much. This is Tonya Hofmann from the Public Speakers Association, and thank you for coming to Publishing Power. Thank you.
Yay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.